This news update is brought to you by
Grab somebody and tell them hello. Your happiness will be connected to flow. Smile and cheer because that is we flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello. With your hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow, yeah. Grab somebody and tell them this is how we flow.
This is the Barbados Today Evening News Update for Tuesday, September 22nd. I am Marie-Claire Williams. Thank you for joining us. The National Union of Public Workers is welcoming news that workers at the National Conservation Commission will get their day before the Employment Right Tribunals next week. Today, Chairman of the tribunal, Hal Gollop, announced the body will begin hearing the cases of the more than 80 workers next Wednesday. NUPW President Akani McDowell said he is happy that the decision came 5 months into the tenure of the new executive. The class action suit will be heard at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center and is expected to last 3 days.
This is a class action. They all have very similar issues. All of the cases have been brought on identical facts, so that the disposition of the cases can be done in one fell swoop because the issues are the same. The tribunal will endeavor to render its decisions as soon as possible within a reasonable time, and it is in the interest of the worker and the tribunal itself and the state, the government, that these matters be dealt with expeditiously from hearing to conclusion. And by conclusion, I mean from the giving of a decision. People need to know how to continue how they will best continue with their lives and livelihood. And that's an important consideration.
In other news, work on the reconstruction of the Sam Lodge Castle is set to begin shortly. Word of this from the Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Investment Inc., Stuart Lane, following a site visit to the St. Philip property today. Preparatory work is now underway on the 57-acre property, with local subcontractor Piles Trucking and Bobcat Rentals cleaning up the area. This began this morning. Lane says that work is expected to continue for the next 2 weeks in preparation for the official groundbreaking for the over $200 million project.
What we are doing is a bit of a demolition. We're clearing the site. We have its preparatory work for an official groundbreaking that will occur in the very near future. We have 57 acres, so it's a lot of work to be done. And we have started today, I believe, I can say we started exactly at 10:15 a.m. today. And we'll continue until it's all done. It's slated to be a large hotel. It's 450 suites. We will also restore the castle to its former glory, and it will be something that I believe will not only enhance our tourism product offering, but will benefit all Barbadians. This is a cultural heritage asset, and we are proud to be able to say that we will restore it and make it available for Barbadians. 2018, I don't want to give the exact month, but we are projecting in the first quarter, or maybe by the first half of the year of 2018, we'll have this project done.
The Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Alvin Hilaire, today described the region's macroeconomic situation as delicate. He gave the grim assessment in his address to the 5th meeting of the contributors and development partners of the CARICOM Development Fund at the Accra Beach Hotel. Hilaire was speaking in his capacity as chairman of the board of directors of the CDF.
The macroeconomic situation in the Caribbean remains very delicate. You have fiscal and balance of payments difficulties which limit the space for maneuvering in many countries. Commodity prices have been very weak, and the uncertain prospects of tourism also create problems for certain countries. For most Caribbean countries which are energy importers, the dramatic decline in oil prices has reduced their import bill. However, for countries like Trinidad and Tobago, which is an oil exporter and has been the major contributor to the CDF, this presents a very challenging situation. Nonetheless, I think it is a tribute to CARICOM member states that despite their individual economic problems, they have demonstrated a clear understanding of the interdependent nature of the community and to draw even closer together to support regional partners.
Meantime, Hillier revealed that the fund is well placed to act as an efficient medium for development assistance from extra-regional partners to support high-value projects and clearly defined goals in Caribbean member states.
Activities to further streamline internal operations, including strengthening of controls in the areas of governance, human resources, finance, and information technology. The strategic plan for 2015 to 2020 has been prepared, taking into account CARICOM's strategic plan, and will soon be available on our website.
There are concerns of the high incidence of theft of intellectual property, especially in music and other creative arts. And Registrar of the Registry of Corporate Affairs and Intellectual Property Office, Heather Clark, says it is no different to embezzlement, and it is occurring too often in Barbados. Clark told a two-day workshop today that the judicial system is dealing swiftly with such offences.
The issue of enforcement of intellectual property rights is by no means an easy task. If you take a quick look at the daily newspapers, and in particular the reports of proceedings in the courts, you will observe that the number of persons who are convicted for the offence of theft. And you will acknowledge that for many human beings, it is commonplace to take property that belongs to other persons with the intention of permanently depriving them of that property. It is certainly no different with where that property is the result of our creative endeavours.
In sports, Bryden Stokes, Unity Ballers and Rapid Response all registered wins when action continued last night in the ongoing Barbados Workers' Union League Series. Playing at the National Netball Stadium, Stokes won 35-20 over Rapid Response. However, Rapid Response redeemed themselves with a 23-12 victory over Orange Spurs, while Unity Ballers defeated Smith's Academy 28-15.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter, that's the move for me. Stability, prosperity, we're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
In news from the region, Guyana's President David Granger is accusing Venezuela of deploying troops near the border in the latest twist to the border dispute between the two countries. Granger told reporters today his government recently received reports that Venezuela has been making extraordinary military deployments in the east of the country, which is west of Guyana. And he says this seems to be impacting on his country's territorial defense. Granger described the move as abnormal military presence, and he says it is a threat to Guyana's territorial integrity, and the government is preparing to take whatever actions are appropriate to protect its border. Finally, Pope Francis today arrived in the United States for an historic visit. He was met on the tarmac by President Barack Obama and his family, as well as Vice President Joe Biden, other top officials and church officials. This is the Pope's first time on U.S. soil, and over the next 6 days he will visit Washington, D.C., New York and Philadelphia, where he is expected to greet millions of American Catholics and address thorny issues like climate change and income inequality. He arrived in Washington just hours after leaving Cuba. And that's the news and sports. Be sure to join us for another update tomorrow morning. Until then, log on to www.barbadostoday.bb for more news and sports. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals or Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also catch us on Channel 101 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. I am Mary Claire Williams. Good evening.